And welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another series review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Season 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina.
Uh-oh. This is going to be fun. I am very flammable!
How about we get a drink?
So we get the return of the heroics of Vox Machina. And if you remember what happened at the end of Season 1, if you're listening to this, is spoilers. As you're defeating the dragon, what the fuck was the name of that dragon? Keldeth, I believe? I can't remember the name of the dragon. I wish I rewatched the finale, but I kind of forgot actually what was happening, but I remembered it was intense because when episode 1, this is like just a quick little opener. With episode 1, it opens with like dragons invading, and you get the new kind of arc that's going to be happening in season 2 with Vox Machina going against the Chromo Conclave, a group of dragons seemingly wanting to basically conquer the world, you know. A classic story, you know, and you know, you get the Cull crew again, and this show is continuing on with its well-told story, because remember, it's always it is adapted from the Critical Role first campaign. From what I'm informed from my brother, who is a huge Critical Role fan, they did some adaptation to kind of more suited to a like series styles, because there's some things in this series that I would not have noticed from an outsider's perspective that worked well for this show. I'm not gonna talk about it here because it doesn't really matter, because the show still flowed well, and like in any context, when something's being adapted, sometimes you have to remove some things or cut some things to make it flow more in a 12 episode or X amount of episode time frame. So like, sometimes, you know, you don't get everything you want, but for me, from an outsider's perspective, I felt these 12 episodes and the way that Amazon Prime actually released these episodes is one of the best, I feel, for a release schedule, because you don't get this weird, like the old school Netflix like full like drops where you just get the whole season all at once, which were fun. And if for some people who have more of the ability to watch everything and binge it all at once, or your classic one episode a week, more traditional style, I felt that Amazon Prime's way of doing it this time around, I felt did a fantastic job of releasing 3 episodes a week for the 4 weeks in the way, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the way these episodes were laid out actually worked really well, because at the end of every 3rd episode, the cliffhanger, I would say, led very great like urge to want to see what's happening next, and that's just kind of my own opinion on that. If it was intentional, that's cool. If not, you know, what a good way to just kind of get the audience hooked into what's going to happen next. Besides that, I really enjoyed Amazon Prime's way of releasing these episodes, because it was a month's worth of content, yes, and you could say you could get 3 months of content out of it, but for me, getting 3 episodes, this like bundles, that's how I kind of been watching some other shows, just kind of stockpiling them, watching them in groups, just to kind of get a bigger, more flair out of them, just because of how much content I watch. For me, it worked well. That's kind of just my say for release schedule. So I'm really happy how Amazon Prime, and maybe if that's how they kind of agreed with Critical Role to kind of release this, I don't know how that works, that's something else, but if something was agreed upon, that's cool. I really like that. I hope they continue with this style of release, because it really let out the story, like I said, it's been adapted from something, so they already have some context, so it's already something already established. for me, the story was very enjoyable. There was not really that many hiccups from an outsider's perspective to kind of really pinpoint. Probably some other people who could nitpick more things, but I felt that I was enjoying the story beat by beat. And for sure, there was a few times I wanted more in-depth information from certain characters because it is a big cast. And when dealing with stories with large casts, it's sometimes hard to kind of give every character their due diligence. But for the most part, I felt it did a reasonable job kind of hinting at different characters and leaving a lot of different strong marks on certain characters in season 2, which probably is more obvious for like veterans of the series, but for me, I'm like, you just, for someone that like new into this world, you're like starting to get to know more of the world a little bit, expanding it and getting to know a little bit more deeper connections of some of the characters, and I felt that worked well. This time around, the soundtrack and the overall score of this thing was like next level. Some of the battle sequences were just amped up from season 1. In my opinion, it just was so great to see some of those like quote like final battle moments, or epic battle moments, and then just hearing some wonderful soundtracks. It just was wonderful. And continuing on, the animation and the art style once again continued. I believe it's still the same. Still the same studio that's working on it. Double checking. Oh, it's still it's Critical Role Productions, Titmouse, and Amazon Studios. I'm guessing those are the main people. Yeah, it's still them that are producing it, so it still flows. There are times where if you're really being nitpicky, there are times that it feels stagnant, but it doesn't really matter that much, because when the going gets tough in there, the animation flows really well for certain sequences, and it just hits hard multiple times. Besides that, there's nothing really more I could say. There's not really many negatives but that I can pick out, because like I'm just following it watching it from a show's perspective, and like I said, I think the only thing I felt that's hard for me is just getting certain characters more time to grow. But that's kind of difficult when it's only a 12 episode series, because if you kind of like unclump these in 24, that's like not bad, but it's still every season there's a lot to kind of divulge and to bring up and to expand. But it works well for this. And I think, like I said, their pacing is really well from whatever they're trying to accomplish. From what my brother is telling me, I think we're gonna get another 2 more seasons, 3 to 4 seasons, or a 3rd and 4th season before they kind of closes up. That's his speculation. I don't know what's gonna happen, so I'm just looking forward to seeing kind of the conclusion, I would say, of the Chroma Conclave arc. So it's gonna be a while before we get season 3. It was interesting how they ended. It's like not really a big spoiler for like that, because I feel that if they would have closed this arc so quickly in only 12 episodes with such huge like antagonists, it would have felt too quick. I think letting it like stir really works. So that's kind of a bit of a spoiler that they don't completely defeat the Chroma Conclave. So a little bit of a spoiler there. But I think it works well for what they're trying to do, just to kind of stir and let it continue. So that's why I'm hoping maybe season 3 will continue this, either finish the arc with the Chroma Conclave, or just increase something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything more besides what I've seen in the show, and probably some memes here and there, but even then. But yeah, I'm gonna give this show, or this season, a solid 9 out of 10. A solid 9 out of 10. The reason not a perfect 10, if anyone's wondering, like I said, there are some moments that I wish story-wise, and this is kind of getting information from my brother without him like spoiling certain things. It's like there's some key character moments that he wanted, and he, as he explained it to me, would expand some more character development, which, like I said, it's understandable when you're time constrained. And there's and just some of the animations where it kind of just looks flat for certain scenes. It can't always be perfect, but like those are just small nitpicks that just caught my attention, though I am kind of watching it on a larger screen. So you can kind of notice certain things sometimes like that. You'd be surprised how sometimes watching on a smaller screen, you don't notice certain things. But yeah, it just felt weird on a bigger screen. Maybe that's why when you see like certain animated films, or like see anything green screen on a larger screen, you can kind of pick things out a lot easier. But yeah, like I said, that overall 9 out of 10, wonderful season. Looking forward to season 3, maybe a season 4, depending on what my brother is speculating. But yeah, so thanks again for listening or watching. You can always leave comments if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on Spotify or Anchor. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys thought of season 2. So until next time, see ya.